everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a couple of weeks, a couple of unexpected weeks, but I am back. We are filming again. This is like the first day that I've kind of just had where I didn't have to worry about body painting or anything. So I'm sitting here filming a video and I'm excited. So today's video is going to be a video of how I used to do my makeup versus how I do it now. This by no means is an everyday makeup thing. I wear makeup, I don't know, like maybe once a week now. This is kind of my natural state, and when I do makeup, and the point of this video is going to be the makeup that I do or the makeup that I did when I just wanted to like feel good, and so it's kind of my go-to. The makeup that I used to do, I wore when I went on campus to my college last year about this time. It was from about January to May, and it wasn't the makeup that I wore every single time, but when I didn't have anything in mind that I wanted to do and I knew I just wanted to kind of feel better about myself and just put on something that made me, I don't know, just feel good, that's the makeup that I went for. And then this is the makeup that I go for now, and it has completely changed, which is why I thought this would be kind of a fun video to do. So now that you kind of know the gist of what I'm doing, let's get straight to the video. I'm first gonna apply some chapstick. Always like to keep that moisturized. I'm gonna do what I used to do on this side and what I do now on this side. So what I used to do is I still never wore a lot of foundation. I kind of just put a little bit, because this is a very light coverage. It is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Longwear Foundation. It says medium coverage, but it's more like light. And so I would take my sponge and blend it out, just because I get red on my cheeks and around my nose. And then I have some marks from like acne, some scarring and stuff. So I would just pat that in. And then for now, I like to make it even sheerer. And I'm going to take a couple of dots of my face moisturizer. And then put on a couple of dots of the foundation. It's funny because like I use like a little bit more, but this is just how I like to do it now. And then I'm just going to take my hand and rub it in like a tinted moisturizer. Like everywhere. Make sure your hands are clean, by the way, before you go about touching your face. So that's the difference. Obviously I like have more marks on this side, but that's the difference so far. Next, this is still pretty much the same. I go in with my concealer, which I desperately need more of. And for what I used to do, I kind of go in down. And then anywhere I had marks, which is kind of just around my nose right now. And then on, like, it's pretty much the same. I do a little bit less, and then where I have some blemishes. And then I take my sponge and just blend that out. I've never been a fan of the super bright under eyes. I do them for makeup looks because they film nicely, but for every day I just kind of don't want the super like intense bright under my eyes. And then honestly just blend that out too. If I have a really more like intense spot on my face, then I'm gonna go ahead and just use my finger and pat that in a little bit and then do that. I hate the word pimple or zit, so I try to avoid those words. For powder, I used to, okay, this is going great. I used to take my sponge, dip it into the powder that I'm using, and then set under my eyes. And I would like kind of press in where I needed it to stay, and then take my brush, get a little bit of powder, and set the rest of my face. Ugh. So, now I like to take a fluffy brush that looks something like that, get it in my powder, and set under my eyes, and set my lid too. I still like to do that. I don't want it to be all creasy and gross. But yeah, just set where I put it right there, where it creases the most for me. And then if I have like where I want the concealer to stay on the issues that I'm having, I put some powder there. And that's it. I do not set the rest of my face. I saw Robbie D. Christie say that she doesn't set her face. I feel like I'm the girl from Mean Girls. But I saw that she did it, and she said that she liked the way it looked. And so I thought one day I'm just going to try not setting it. I used to be very oily, and so not setting my foundation kind of scared me a little bit. But I did it, and I kind of like how it looks. So now I don't set it. So on the old side, I did not wear blush, but I do now. So I just take a neutral pink blush, whatever you want to use, and just put that on the cheeks. I like it to have like just a little bit of shine to it. Brighten up the face a little bit. But that's kind of what we're working with now. That's the difference. I still don't contour my face. I have never been and probably will never be a contour type of person. So we'll move on to the highlighting part. For the old side, I would honestly just take like a baby little dab and just lightly, oh my gosh, it's so like pigmented. Just kind of go over the top of the cheekbone a little bit, and then again I would take my sponge and just go over it. So that way there's just a little something. And then it's hard to do like one side of your face. Just a little bit on the Cupid's bow. And yeah. And by the way, I'm using this Sleek Solstice one. And so for now, I like to take the creamy side on my finger and just apply that. I like the way the cream looks now because I'm not setting my face, so it's not going on top of powder, and it makes it look a little bit more natural in person. And it's more like glowy rather than straight highlight. And just a little bit. Next, I'm going to go in with my eyebrows, and to be honest, they are the exact same. I have the ColourPop eyebrow pencil in the brunette shade, and I have pretty sparse outer corners of my eyebrows, and so I genuinely just like add a couple of strokes right to the end and then use the spoolie side to brush it out and kind of bring it forward. This is just how I personally like to do my eyebrows. I don't like them crazy structured or anything, or intense and dark. What has drastically changed though when it comes to the makeup I want to do when like I just want to put on makeup and feel pretty is eyeshadow. So the infamous Subculture palette used to be and is still kind of my child. I always reached for this palette when I wanted to wear eyeshadow, and specifically 4 shades, but Now I don't really, which you'll see, I don't really wear eyeshadow when I want to just like put makeup on, but we will do what I used to do. So what I used to always go for was like an orangey, bronzy eye. And so I would first take the shade Edge, which is the yellow right there. And you just genuinely need to tap in once. And I would throw that in the crease. And kind of bring it in a little bit right here. I really liked when colors, you could kind of see them like looking forward and they were right there. It's funny because I did a look for my makeup brush set for their Instagram stories, and I think this is the look that I did. Okay, next I would go in with New Wave, which is the orange, just using the same brush. And I would pop that on the outer and further into the crease. It is a very orange shade. You know what's funny is I wonder if this is going to make me want to do this again. Because I love the way like orangey reds and kind of yellows looked on me, so. Next, I would take just a tiny dab of Fudge, which is the brown right here, like just barely, and put that in the outer corner, just to kind of deepen it up a little bit. Obviously I have brown eyes, so I just felt like it really worked with my brown eyes. And then if I felt like it was a little dark, then I would add a little bit more orange. Next, I would take New Wave on the other side of this brush and throw it on the lower lash line. And then I would take Adorn, which is the bronzy shade right here, just on my finger, and put that on the lid. Next, I would reach into the NYX Love You So Mochi Sleek and Chic palette, and this color right here, which is still beautiful, I would take like on my pinky finger and put in the inner corner. And then if I felt like it was a little bit dark, I would kind of pat it on top of the inner part of that eyeshadow. But that is what I would do for my eye makeup, and then add some mascara, which is the next step in both eyes. Now I pretty much just wear mascara. I will put a little bit of the cream highlighter that I used in the inner corner of my eye, but I'm going to go ahead and just apply my favorite mascara to both eyes. I like to drag out my mascara on the outer corner so that it kind of like lifts up the eye a little bit. And then now, do the exact same thing. I will say I go a little bit heavier on the mascara because there's nothing else there. Like I try to kind of make the lower lash line a little bit dramatic. It's just kind of fun. And then I take just that little bit of cream highlighter and pop it in the inner corner, and then also under my brow bone. To see, I just like the way I've always, my entire makeup life, loved a really bright inner corner. Like that has always been my thing. That will probably continue to be my thing until I'm older and have to change it. But it's something that I love to do. I just love the way it, like, when you look, it's just like that bright little accent to an eye. I love that. Final part would be the lips. I was a matte lip junkie. I always said I would never switch, that matte lipstick is the only way, that glossy lips are stupid, and I regret saying all of those because none of that is true anymore. So, what I used to love was the NYX Slip Tease. It is a full color lip oil in the shade Entice, which looks something like that. And I had a very specific way of putting it on. So, it's going to be hard. I would literally put one swipe down and kind of rub my lips together and then take my finger and pat it down. What I loved about this lip oil is the fact that when I use the method that I use by like putting just one little color on and then blotting it out with my finger, it made it set like a matte lip, but it wasn't as drying and it didn't feel as heavy. So once it kind of sits down a little bit, I don't feel it, but it feels moisturizing. And so that's why I love that specific color. I always love like mauve colors, those are my thing, but that specific kind of formula worked really well for me, and I loved it and wore it almost every day, even without this specific eye look. Now, I like to take a kind of darker color. Today, I'm going to use the Bite Lip Crayon in Glace. Glossé? There's a little thing above the E. Glossé. And I like to put a little bit of a darker color in the center, like inner part of my lip. I'm just gonna rub that in. Just the inner part. And then, this is my favorite lip gloss. It is the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Tiramisu. And then I just like to put a little bit of gloss over it. So that is what I used to do for like my go-to makeup, and then this is what I do now. To be completely honest with you, if I wanted to kind of dress myself up a little bit or go out, that's a concept I've never done before, but if I wanted to, I would probably still do this. I love the way oranges and yellows look with my eyes, and so if I wanted to kind of be super dramatic, this is still something that I would do. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in my next video, and if you would like, leave a comment telling me which side you like better.